Hello Metroids, welcome to another AMA session. My name's Trent and I'm the CEO of Metrix Coin. Quick disclaimer before we get started. So the answers that I'm going to give you today are my opinion only. They're not of the team, they're of myself. This is not financial advice and this is not intended to be financial advice in any way. If you would like financial advice, please seek your own. Firstly, let me thank everyone for spending the time to put these questions together. We've got some pretty good questions here. Hopefully by the end of this session, we should have a clearer path forward for everyone. So without further ado, let's get to the first question. In all your years of experience, in what ways do you envisage Metrix proliferating? Okay, that's a good question to get started. I think the easiest answer would be exchange listings with large exchanges with large daily volumes. That'll totally transform where we are right now. It's not just about exchange listings though, it's promotions through these exchanges. I think that's paramount. It's getting trading competitions happening to increase liquidity. It's employing bounty programs, further AMA sessions with new audiences to try to grow our community, bringing some influencers on board, again, new audiences. The list goes on. The biggest issue though with all of these things is in this business there's not a lot of things that are free. Just about everyone that I've been dealing with, they want BTC. Just about anyone's going to promote us, but if they've got 2 BTC in their pocket, they're going to promote us very, very well. If they don't have 2 BTC in their pocket, chances are the promotion's not going to even be discussed any further. So this is something we're working on as far as revenue streams to bring more BTC into the business. As soon as we've got that, we can use that to promote ourselves a lot more. What we will be doing though in the interim is calling on our community to help us get as much promotion as we can for free. Let's get as much eyes, or as many eyes as I should say, on Metrix as possible. Question 2. How do you see Metrix in 1 year, 2 years, 5 years and 10 years? All right, well this one's a little bit tricky. 1 year's easy. A lot of technical growth as well as a lot of community growth, a lot of price growth, which will follow. In year 2, I think we'll be patting ourselves on the back on how far we've actually come on this little journey together. I think there's going to be a lot of excitement around what we've actually been able to achieve. Year 5, this one is very tricky for the simple reason that Metrix is an altcoin, meaning an alternate to Bitcoin. In 5 years' time, anyone who's charting Bitcoin will know that it's proposed to be in a bear market. A bear market means more dominance to Bitcoin rather than to an altcoin. So altcoins tend to bleed out. So our technology is going to be there. The advancement in the technology is going to be there. Our community is going to be there. As to price, I can't give you any estimates. 10 years from now, too hard. I wouldn't even project 10 years forward in this space, to be honest. 5 years is hard enough. In 10 years' time, realistically, I think we're going to be having the main discussion around points that haven't even been thought of. The technology is just moving that quickly. I mean, who knew this DeFi craze was going to come out of nowhere and coins are going 400, 500 times? Like, it's just ridiculous what's happening at the moment. But as fast as that one's come in, I think it's going to leave as well, and there's going to be a new craze. So don't get all caught up in the DeFi craze, is what I'm saying. But in 10 years' time, where is Metrix placed within the ecosystem of cryptocurrencies? I couldn't even shudder to think that far forward. Question 3. The other day you shared with us that you expect Metrix price to be 2,000 sats. Some community members shared excitement for reading the message. How do you propose we achieve that price? Okay, let me start with this answer. The comment was a little bit tongue-in-cheek. The question posed was, what was the opening price that I envisaged the new exchanges to have, to which I replied 2,000 sats. Now, although in saying that, I could personally take us to 2,000 sats today with a small team of traders. I mean, that's no big deal. The sell walls aren't that big. The issue with that, though, is I don't want to create this massive green candle today to have a big wick there tomorrow and it's to come back to 3 or 4 or 5 sats. I mean, that's just silly. That doesn't do any good for the longevity of the coin. So I'm looking more from a longevity point of view, and the reason it would be so easy to take us that far so quickly is the lack of liquidity. So rather than just push the price to silly levels, what I'd like to do is bring on more organic buyers, and let's get to a decent level through organic buying. I think that's the best way to do that. Now, how do we do that? Obviously, we start with bigger investments. We start with better exchanges with more daily volume. From there, we do the cross promotions, which is all being worked on currently. Without the liquidity, it makes it very hard to trade. So first thing we need to fix is liquidity. That's being worked on. It's also not that attractive for a lot of new investors if they can buy a position but can't exit that position. So my aim is to fix the liquidity as the main issue, and we're going to do that as quickly as possible. I think looking at the markets just over the last 2 weeks, you've already seen there's a lot more liquidity coming into the market already. We haven't even done the chain swap. We haven't got on these exchanges, so there's just so much more to come. We've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes with these exchanges just to make sure we're going to get the maximum benefit. So watch this space over the next 6 weeks, but that's definitely on the improve. Next question: What do you believe makes Metrix a project successful? Okay. Well, firstly, I put any success to a project to the team behind the project. That's number one for me. A dedicated team that produces results on an ongoing basis. There's no point having a great team that works for a week and then disappears. So what I'm building is a successful team of dedicated people, which we already have, and we're just going to put these people into better roles, and we're going to fill all the roles that need to be filled. A dedicated community will then follow, and it's going to be the community filling a lot of these roles. Once we've got the community fully on board, which we're just about there now, we can really start to make some headway. And I believe that journey started about 6 weeks ago. What roles can the community play to assist the team in growing Metrix? Great question. I was just touching on that. We're currently working through these roles and responsibilities with the team. As soon as we've got that worked out, and the reason it's taking a little bit longer is there's just so many roles and responsibilities, guys. There's things that haven't been discussed in normal forums at this stage that I've brought up. It's just future planning and future proofing the security of the coin. We want to make sure that we've got all our bases covered, and there's going to be plenty of roles that the community can step into. These will be released over the coming weeks. Leading roles for other coins have stepped away from the projects over time. Do you think that's wise? Yeah, that's a bit of a tricky one without more specifics. I'll try to answer this the best I can. There are many reasons to walk away from a project. Some are due to new regulations that weren't imposed previously. Others are due to lack of further interest in the project and just wanting to look at new projects. You know, the grass is always greener, that kind of thinking. For myself personally, I'm heavily invested in Metrix. I want to offer my services for as long as I can add value. How long do you envisage yourself as being part of Metrix? Okay, sorry, I already started to answer that one. I wanted to offer the team a clear and defined direction moving forward. Clear and defined roles, responsibility, as I've just outlined, new business partnerships, new treasury plans, new contacts, new exchange listings, new bounty programs, new ways to build liquidity, new ways for community involvement, for community investment, and a whole lot more. So this is exactly what I've been working on. When I complete all of these duties and I have my time served, I'm more than happy to step aside and let someone with fresh eyes step in and take over this role. But I don't envisage that happening anytime soon. I've got plenty to do. What do you see as being our biggest unaddressed obstacle to date? That's pretty hard to say. That's a bit of a tough one, as I don't think we have any unaddressed obstacles that I'm aware of. Since I took this seat, I've picked up every rock and looked underneath, and I believe as a team we're currently tabling everything that needs to be tabled. In saying that though, I've got a huge amount of papers. I've got pages and pages and pages of paper with notes on it that needs to be worked through. So we've got a lot of work to do, but as far as I'm aware, there's no unaddressed obstacles whatsoever. Everything has been tabled to date. The Axel factor, fact or fiction? That's fact. yeah, the charts don't lie. For those that don't know, you have to have a flick through Discord. In today's COVID climate, alternate forms of digital transaction is greatly desired. Timing for Cashinow machines and Metrix is a perfect fit. How long is the partnership contracted to carry out between the two once implemented? Well, the simple answer there is it's an ongoing contract. The timing is definitely of great benefit to both companies. Our agreement is open-ended. So as this is going to be profitable for both sides, I see no reason for either side to want to remove themselves from the agreement. We'll simply be expanding our clients that accept Metrix. So just so you understand, BA are in the business of expanding their clientele. And the more clientele that use their machines, the better it is for BA. What we're simply doing is working with BA to integrate Metrix into their payment systems. So there's absolutely no reason for that to dissipate in any way. Next question. How often will the new interest rate be paid out of Metrix Holdings? I'm not sure what that means. How often will the new interest rate being paid out for Metrix? Okay, I think you're talking staking rewards. So the staking rewards won't be any different to what they are now. It's just a different amount of reward. So a staking reward gets paid when a block is complete. So at this stage, it's on a daily basis. I don't see any difference on the new chain. The only difference is it won't be about 50%, it'll be 10%. Governors, on the other hand, they are rewarded every 48 hours. I hope I answered that correctly. At what point do you expect BA Consult and Cashinow implementation to be taken seriously by a wider swath of investing crypto world and not just another coin making claims regarding future capability? Okay, good question. I think the easiest way to answer this one is to stay as much on point as possible, and that would be when the machines are fully integrated and in a working environment. Once people can see that the machines are working in real life, it's very, very hard for the naysayers to say, it doesn't work. At this point, what my plans are is we're going to document these machines with live video recordings and share this over all our socials. I think that's a very, very good way to get some really good traction. To follow up regarding touchless digital transactions, is a mobile wallet utilising QR codes and or near field communication, NFC, for transactions in the pipeline? No. Nothing like this is planned currently on the roadmap. It's not to say that it can't be on a future roadmap, but right now we have just too much to do. Regarding your time serving as CEO of several other companies, what are some challenges that you overcame and how do you expect that experience will benefit Metrix? Okay, that's a good question. Firstly, as CEO, there's always challenges to overcome. That's just what you step into. You are the head of the challenge department. With that being said, what normally happens is people are the challenge. There's not really too many challenges that aren't people related. So in any business that I've worked in or ran or what have you, it's always the people. So people exist in everywhere, from your team to the community, the haters, the naysayers. It's working with the people to ensure a good result. Being the CEO, it's more about assisting your team to shine, to look as good as they can, rather than yourself. It's about a combined effort to maximise the results through clear and defined leadership. I think that's probably the easiest and clearest way to put that one. It's about assisting the team to drive the community. It's about the community believing that the team can do the job. And I'm very fortunate as I've walked into a role where I've got amazing, passionate team members here that are wanting to push Metrix forward. So this is probably the easiest role I've stepped into as CEO. When people are getting paid to turn up on a Monday and paid to stay till a Friday, it's a lot harder to get people motivated. I've stepped into a motivated environment, so you know it's good fun, and it's a great team behind Metrix, I can assure you. Next question: when can we expect kickoff with BA/Cashinow? Okay, so I was hoping to have this ready at the chain swap. Now, a lot's happened since we did the first agreement, as we've talked about in the previous AMA. COVID has obviously affected the way people interact. It's affected casino opening times. It's affected how many people are allowed in casinos. It's also affected a lot of the business that goes on. So I'm talking about the casinos because that's our first rollout that we want to achieve, and then there was the shopping centres, post office, banks, and everything after that. I think the best way to answer this question as truthfully as I can is about a month to 6 weeks ago, Michael from BA advised that he's going to need 6 months. So that puts us Q1 2021. So the good news though is that's pretty fast approaching. How will Metrix differentiate itself from other leading competitor coins beside the current use case? We're working on new partnerships all the time. It's not to say that BA is our be-all and end-all. We've got Grudge Match Gaming, which we'll talk about shortly, but we've got other partnerships that are in the works that are early days, which we'll probably touch on shortly as well. But the simple answer is we want to be a coin that has a lot of partnerships and a lot of real use cases, not just the one. So that's something that we're definitely working towards. Now, the reason I didn't want to jump ahead is because I could just see the next question. Could we see a revival of GMG? I would like to say yes, 100%. The answer will be yes. I can't say that just yet. We're currently looking at what's required to complete GMG. With Justin stepping back, whether Justin's going to have time to commit himself to this, I don't know. We've got Keith Nibbles, who everyone's would have seen through Discord. Keith's going through having a really good look at this, at what's required, and then how much time needs to be invested in this. Is it worth pushing forward with? My simple answer is yes, it definitely is worth pushing forward with. It is a real use case. There's been so much blood, sweat and tears go into it to date. We're already at beta, so I mean, we've broken the camel's back, so to speak. So to not see GMG come forward would be a real shame, and under my watch, I certainly don't want to have that as an outcome. So I can't commit to it at this stage, but there will be further updates in due course. We're just working through what we need to work through to make that decision. How will Trent & Co deal with the endless trolls when Metrix eclipses 100 sats and beyond? Trent doesn't care for trolls. If I was wasting my time reading all the rubbish other people write about me and where we are and what's happening, I simply wouldn't be in the position I'm in today. I have a job to do and I'm just going to get on with it. What kind of roles can the community play to assist? Oh, sorry, I've got some glare on my screen. What kind of roles can the community play to assist the growth of Metrix Coin? Okay, we've touched on this a few times. As I've mentioned earlier, there's going to be plenty of roles on offer. This is going to be limited to your own imagination. We're not really going to be knocking people back from roles in any way, shape or form. What we need to do though is promote this coin as much as possible. To promote the coin, we need articles published, we need new images, we need new memes designed, we need new business partnership introductions, we need more maybe tech support roles, more moderators to assist. We need to keep our image as clean as possible, we need to keep it as professional as possible. Believe it or not, I don't wear a button-up shirt every day. I live in the Philippines. However, this is what we need to be doing. This is going to keep us professional, it's going to keep us moving in the right direction. We're going to have more community builders, people that can introduce our communities to other communities, bring people into us. Possibly more people to help with GMG once we work our way through that one. The list goes on and on and on. We're working on the release of this new bounty program, which we'll have out shortly because that was on our short-term roadmap. And that's a way that you can be rewarded in Metrix to help the team. So it's basically everyone helping each other. Next question. Given your business experience, how do you see us going forward and how do we push the coin price to new levels? Okay, well, I thought everyone was here for the technology. Okay, we've pretty much covered a lot of this so far, but gaining more exposure to the coin is key. Listing on new exchanges with higher daily volumes, promoting the coin through these exchanges, further promotion activities to get more eyes on the coin, trading competitions, building a larger community, and the list goes on. I might have a little teaser for you at the end of this one that might help there as well. What is the expected time frame until Cashinow users begin to use Metrix at a significant level? Also, how will potential new users be informed/marketed to? Okay, well, as we've already discussed, we're going to work towards Q1 2020 to have BA machines fully integrated. Now, that will be on our first rollout. It's not to say that we won't have more rollouts within that quarter, but my focus is let's get it working. Let's make sure that it's working. Let's get it well documented that it is working. And from there, it's just simply rinse and repeat. So that part's easy, but let's just get focused on the first rollout. And that one we're working towards Q1 2020. The Metrix team are here, obviously, to support anyone in BA under our agreement. So that's what we're working towards. Sorry, I didn't really answer that properly. As far as working at a significant level, this is set up so that it will work from a significant level pretty much from day one. It's hard to go into without going into all the technical side, but once this is rolled out properly, there's going to be no reason for people not to want to use Metrix on the rollout. So I see it, when it starts working from day one, it's going to be working at a significant level. That significant level is only going to increase as we increase the rollout. I hope that clarifies all that. How do we stop staking at 50% on the old chain being recognised after the new chain goes live? That is, late swappers shouldn't get rewarded. Okay, now there's been a lot of chat over Telegram and Discord on this one. So it's a really good question. There's so many different ways of going about this. I've consulted with many people over this. As a team, there's a lot of challenges with this as well. So we've come up with a really, really simple way of doing this. So the new chain will be open on or before October 1st, 2020. That's our commitment. Okay, so the absolute last date that we're going to roll over is going to be October 1st. That does not mean that everyone has to go to the new chain on October 1st. That's the open date. The old chain will continue running forever. Until there's no masternodes running on there, it'll continue running. So the easiest way is we're going to put a cut-off date. Now the cut-off date is going to be December 1, 2020. So that gives everyone a huge amount of notice. We've had 5 months notice so far that we're moving to a new chain. We've had at least 30 days notice now that October 1st is going to be the start of the chain swap. And today I'm giving you, 75 days notice that we're going to be cutting off on December 1st. Okay, so that's a lot of headway. There's a lot of notice there. We're going to be putting this over all our socials, but the cutoff will be December 1st. Now, any coins that are not moved by December 1st will be lost. Okay, so we'll also be sharing plenty of information on this. So when I say lost, they're going to be burned. Now, that applies to Metrix, and it also applies to Linda X, LX coins. Well, there needs to be a cut-off time for that as well. So all cut-offs to the new chain will be December 1st. Okay. How else can I answer this? The rewards will stay at 50% for staking, and the masternodes will continue paying at the 60% until the December 1st cut-off time. Now, on the new chain, they're going to be paying at the lower rate of the 10%, and there will be no masternodes. Okay, so the issue being is you can't get on these new exchanges unless you're on the new chain. So just be clear on that. So I see some people wanting to keep some coins on the old chain, put a lot of coins over to the new chain. Either way, it's a 60-day window. Okay, but I need to be clear, anything not moved by the 1st of December will be lost. Any details on governor nodes? Yes, we're doing a full write-up at the moment. That'll be published on a Medium article, Reddit, and we'll share that across all our socials. So there's a few details about the governors that people should know, whether you should run a governor, whether you should not run a governor, how the governors work, what the governors mean to the network, all that sort of stuff. So we'll be sharing all that information. So good question. Will there be mobile wallet staking for users of Cashinow Metrix, and will it be free? Currently, the only mobile staking wallet is my staking wallet. This is not free, as we need to pay for an external VPS. The team are currently reviewing other products and services that may assist. Right now, that's the only option. Is Trent the best? Is Trent the best thing that has happened to Metrix in a while? Well, guys, thank you for the vote of confidence. I'm a Metroid as well. I'm a long-term holder, as you know. I'm just another guy just doing what I can to help. But thank you for the vote of confidence. How has the integration with Cashinow machines been progressing? I think I've answered that already. It's progressing well. We've been delayed with COVID, but we are still progressing. Looking good. Call it Q1 2020. I'll obviously give you updates as we get updates as well. Many other crypto companies, communities attempted to implement their use cases to the public as per their white papers, but unfortunately not many achieved their goals. What measures are incorporated into Metrix use cases to ensure implementation will be successful as per schedule? Okay, good question. I think the reason that a lot of these projects can't get this to fruition is it's a concept. It's never been used as a real life use case, and I think that's the issue. Their ideas are great, but their integration and implementation obviously just hasn't come together. With Metrix, we're pretty much in the same boat here. I can't tell you that we've already incorporated the Metrix to be spent with BA Cashinow machines, because we haven't. We certainly have the technology, we certainly have the people that know how to do this, and we don't envisage any problems, but have we done it? No. Will we do it? I really hope so. I don't see any reason that we can't. The same can be said for GMG. We haven't released it publicly, but we're already in beta. So we've proved it works. We can use Metrix coins in the beta, so there's no reason we can't do it in the alpha. The only difference being is we just need a lot more blood, sweat and tears to go into it to get it ready so that it is a professional product on the marketplace. So that will give us two real use cases. We've already got one, so we've already proven that we can do it, so that sort of answers at least half the question, and we're certainly working as hard as we can to make sure that the BA side works. Now, without giving too much away, I'm working with some other companies on other payment systems as well. So, and it's not just payment systems directly, it could be looking at it from a different angle, but I don't want to go too far into that just yet. We're in early conversations, but there is a lot going on, I can promise you. So realistically, at the end of the day, I'd like to see a minimum of 5 separate real-world use cases of people being able to spend Metrix. I think if I've achieved that, I've done pretty well as a CEO. So, guys, that was the last question. I hope you're all a little bit more knowledgeable and have a little bit more understanding of where we're headed as a coin and as a team. There's going to be plenty of opportunities to join our team, and we're just going to keep growing and growing Metrix as much as we possibly can. We're going to take advantage of all these exchange listings, these new communities, the trading competitions, all this sort of stuff that's coming up. So I hope you're as excited as I am, but together we're going to be stronger. Let's keep pushing Metrix as far as we can. And the last little thing I wanted to tell you is I have a little idea that I might release in the next day or two called bonus buys. So watch out for bonus buys. And I think you might be a little bit excited about that one. Anyone that wants to buy some more Metrix, it might be a really good opportunity. Until next time, thank you for all the questions. I hope I've done you well by answering them the best I could. Again, this was my own advice. It's not legal advice. Until next time, see you guys. Cheers.